Welcome to the Co-Parenting Conversations podcast, brought to you by the Center for Divorce Education. With renowned psychologist Dr. Donald Gordon, we will delve into the complex world of co-parenting during and after divorce and separation. Join us as we explore some of the emotional, legal, and practical aspects of parental breakups, helping you navigate this transformative journey with wisdom and guidance. Whether you're currently going through a divorce, contemplating separation, or supporting a loved one in their journey, the Center for Divorce Education is here to empower you with knowledge and offer you a roadmap towards a brighter future. The information presented in this podcast is intended for educational purposes only. The presentation of this material is not intended to constitute mental health therapy or to diagnose mental health disorders. The presentation of this material is not intended to constitute legal advice. Participants are encouraged to discuss specific legal questions with a licensed attorney of their choice.
Welcome back to the Co-Parenting Conversations podcast by the Center for Divorce Education. We provide online parenting classes for divorcing and separating parents. I'm Jamie, and today we're going to go over some of the benefits of taking our Children in Between online class and the skills taught in the program. So I'm here again with my colleague Chelsea and our executive director, Dr. Don Gordon. For those who may not know about our program, Children in Between Online, it's a program for divorcing or separating parents who have children. And the class itself takes about 4 hours and can be done completely online. It's self-paced, so you can log in and out as needed to complete it. And it teaches many skills on how to co-parent while keeping children out of the middle of conflict. And it also teaches proven methods to reduce stress. So before we bring on Dr. Don, what benefits can you think of, Chelsea, after taking our program?
Divorce and separation can be life-altering for parents, but also for their children if not handled properly. But I would really think the biggest benefit is to help prevent or decrease that conflict with the skills like iMessages or active listening.
So an iMessage, just in case that is new for any of our listeners, is a statement about how something makes you feel. So for example, I feel upset when the kids come home from your house and haven't done any homework, instead of saying, you never do homework with the kids. It's just an easier way of getting your point across without attacking the other person, right? So the skills like these are taught throughout the program, and you're right, they are all helpful in learning how to help resolve conflict while keeping the kids out of the middle of it. And we know better than most when a parent is told that they have to take a parenting class, that they don't usually want to or feel like they need to. But we do have hundreds of parents who actually thank us after taking the program and say how helpful it was.
Very true. We have a lot of parents who've actually said that they wish they would have taken the class either before they got married or before they got divorced because it could have saved their marriage.
Dr. Don put years into creating the program and countless studies to really make sure that it was effective as well. So we have updated it and really tried to make the class as relatable as possible for parents for a reason. And we know that no one wants to take a parenting class, but at the end of the day, the feedback we've gotten from parents who took the program are really amazing sometimes. So, all right, let's go ahead and bring on the expert and creator of the program here, Dr. Don, and he can give a little more in-depth information on the studies done and evidence of the class and some of the benefits of taking the class and the skills he put in the program. Dr. Don, you want to share with us what you think is the most beneficial part of the Children in Between class?
Yes, right away, the largest benefit is decreasing the conflict and tension in the family. Parental conflict goes down after the parents learn the skills and use the skills that are taught in the program. And some research has shown that when we measure children's stress, we find there's a 22% reduction in children's stress. There's 70% fewer school absences, which is another indication of stress, and 54% fewer doctor's visits. And it's said that a lot of the doctor's visits that children experience are because of are stress related.
Can you tell us why you focused on loyalty conflicts and what is a loyalty conflict?
A loyalty conflict is when a child can't be loyal to both parents at the same time or equally. They have to show a preference for one versus the other, and they have to choose. And other researchers and psychologists have identified loyalty conflicts as the most damaging part of divorce. And parents usually are not aware that they're putting children into loyalty conflicts because they do them in often subtle ways. For instance, asking the children to carry messages to the other parent, or criticizing the other parent, or criticizing how the other parent spends money, or saying negative things about the other parent's character. Since the child identifies with both parents, a criticism of the other parent, the child will often apply to themselves. So what we were surprised to find out is when you point out the different ways parents involving their children in loyalty conflicts, that they quickly change that because they're not trying to hurt their children. They just simply didn't know they were doing it. Once they're aware they're doing it, then they can stop doing it.
What are the benefits to parents themselves then from taking the program?
Well, they experience less stress. And that's important because a divorce is the second most stressful event that a person can go through in their lifetimes, the first being death of a spouse. And they learn about neuroscience. They learn how their brains are wired to react to a perceived threat. They go into a fight or flight mode. And when they're in the fight or flight mode, they simply can't show sensitivity or take the point of view of the other parent or of the child. They're simply either running or fighting back or freezing. The brain is supposed to do that. It's supposed to save us when we're into a life-threatening situation. But most of the situations in divorce are not life-threatening. But nonetheless, the brains react that way. Parents love hearing about that. They didn't know about it. They can use that information to calm themselves down. We teach them methods for calming themselves down when they're about to go into or are into the fight or flight mode. We also know that they go to court less often, and that saves them money, time, and stress. They learn how to cooperate with their co-parent when it seems unlikely or impossible to do that. When a lot of times parents refuse to talk to each other, and they find out that they can learn some communication skills that allow them to talk to each other. And they also learn about their children's feelings about the family breakup. So they're able to be supportive. And quite often, kids don't have the emotional vocabulary to tell their parents how they're feeling about the breakup. And so the parents may not know or may assume the kids are resilient, they're doing fine. And so in this program, they learn about what the kids are experiencing, and they see kids speaking in the program, clues them into what their children are experiencing. So they can learn to emotionally attune to the kids, and it's necessary for the children to have their parents emotionally attuned to them so they can feel loved and understood and cared for.
Can you tell us a little bit about the studies that were done on the program?
Yeah, we did. We compared parents who took the program to parents who didn't take the program, and found that the ones who did take the program were less than half as likely to go back to court, to relitigate. So they were able to use the skills and not go back to court as often. And we found that the research shows that compared to in-person programs, that Children Between was more effective than in-person programs. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Children Between has very strong instructional design so that the parents will remember and use the skills that they're taught. We think there's not much use in giving parents a program that they're not going to remember the material. And the way most programs are structured, it doesn't help parents' memory. There's very few programs that have a very strong instructional design, and we recently did a study on that and presented on that at a national conference. We also did research that showed that parents experience less stress when they use the program compared to not using the program. There are also fewer conflicts that parents had with each other about pickups and drop-offs, and there's less conflict over access to the children because both parents start supporting the child's relationship with the other parent, even though they don't like the other parent. And both parents tend to become more involved with the kids after the divorce.
We do know that the program has proven to be effective for both the parents and children. So we also now know that 9 out of 10 parents who take the class say they would recommend it to other parents as well. So hopefully, if any of you listeners have someone you may know that is going through a divorce or separation or you now have a resource for them. So once again, thank you, Dr. Don. We appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.